How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Jordan Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another Let's Talk Toys. Really excited tonight because we've got a San Diego Comic-Con special. And as ever, I'm joined by the main men. We've got Luke from Hydra Collectibles. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. I hope people are going to get comfortable and buckle in because this is going to be a long one, I think.
Yeah, it really is. I've seen the slides. Yeah, it's going to be a long one, but lots of interesting content. We've then got Comic Lad Simon. How are you, sir?
Hello, I'm all right, man. How are we?
I can't get enough of your little hello. I love it. Little jazz hands, great. Are you well, Simon? Are you in good form?
I'm really well. Yeah, I'm really
good.
Really well and good. So
good. Now, Simon.
Yes.
Just before we move on to James, we're doing a San Diego Comic-Con special here, obviously, and we've all got extra slides this week.
Yes.
And you've sent us a good chunk of slides. Are you prepared? Are you fully abreasted of all of your slides?
Oh yeah.
That's confidence if ever I've heard it.
Oh yeah. And finally, we've got James T. Keegan. How are you, sir?
Ayo, I'm feeling ducky. Just ducky today. So.
He's thinking Rob's. He's feeling ducky. I did a comic show last night, James, and Phil from Phil's Nerdiverse. His opening was AO, and he said he thought that was just something all Irish people said now. So I did tell him it was trademarked to you.
Yes,
so you always want to get some.
I'm currently in a lawsuit with Nintendo for using it in the Mario movie. So,
so yeah, lots to do, lots to talk about tonight, guys. So like I say, we are doing a San Diego Comic-Con special, and we're going to do things a little bit differently tonight. Instead of having sections, we're just going to basically mix the slides up, so you'll get a mix of everything because we'll go along. You'll get gaming, 1/6 scale, action figures, Star Wars, anime, Turtles, the full shebang, all mixed up. So hopefully that'll be interesting for you all. Before we do that, excuse me, I just want to quickly talk about a little bit of stuff that's happened on the channel, and before we get into the main meat of the show. We've done a few shows over the last few days. We've done 1/6 scale news, which was really interesting. So check that out. That was from Sideshow Con. So please go and see some of the stuff they released there. We did a Saturday Night Live show where we talked toy movies. Again, very interesting. I've been to see Barbie now. Has anybody else seen it yet?
I'm doing Barbenheimer tomorrow.
Oh, I'll be interested to see what people think. We also did this week's comics yesterday, where we looked at all of the week's comic book news, which was good fun. And tonight, obviously, we are doing Let's Talk Toys Comic-Con special. I wanted to mention this. This is a new show we've got coming out. Myself and Andy from Perpetual Comics are going to be starting a series called Masters of the Triviaverse, which is going to be a live show series where each time we do it, and it's not going to be a set monthly one or anything, it's just whenever we fancy it. Whenever we do it, it's going to be on a specific topic, and we're going to find out who the king or queen of the geeks is. So
this is me versus Ben, is it?
Yeah, this is come on the back of the challenge.
His bitch talk.
Yeah. This is James versus Ben, and any other Star Wars fanatics out there. So F1 people like that, anyone that wants to take part, myself and Andy will act as quiz masters. There'll be a range of different topics in terms of different styles of questioning and all that kind of stuff. And if it's fun, if we enjoy it, we'll do it for other topics as well. Luke, don't get excited. We ain't doing a lost one. All right. There's just you, mate. It would be you sat answering questions by yourself.
By default. By default.
Yeah. Congratulations, Luke. You've won. So that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that one. And then we've got this coming up as well. This is going to be our Ask Us Anything show. We haven't got a date for that yet. I think it's probably going to be a Saturday coming up because I'm alternating Saturday live now, where myself and a few of the guys are going to be just basically going off script without any slides, and we'll just be in the chat's hands. They can direct us to talk about whatever they fancy. We've got the Crimson Cage review tomorrow night at 8 o'clock over on JP Venom's channel. That is going to be superb. It's a great book, and that's a great show as well, where myself and a number of the guys, I don't know, are you all on tomorrow night? I'm not sure who's on.
I still have to check. I should be.
Okay. Good stuff. It's a great series, that one. So looking forward to unpicking that one. And we've got the usual shout out to the UK comic live stream community. This week in Metropolis on a Tuesday, Nerd Herd on a Wednesday, Killer Comic Show Guys on a Thursday, and The Grey Man on a Saturday. Okay, so before we jump onto the special, just quickly jump to the chat, see who we've got. We have got good old StreamYard. Thank you. We've got GP Venom. How are you, Pete? Looking forward to tomorrow night, my friend. We've got Sean. Always nice to see you, Sean. And we've got our friend Deadman. Always nice to see you. Just yet, listen, I know nothing. Deadman, you buy enough comics, mate. We can't get you into toys as well, or else you'll be going into the red. Who else we've got? And we've got good old Fuzzy. We're all here for Simon, Fuzzy. We're all here for Simon. Okay, chaps. Lots to talk about tonight. Let's crack straight on. Like I said at the very start, we're mixing things up this month. So instead of having dedicated sections, you're just going to get a mix of different topics. And we're going to start off with Simon. Simon.
Hello. Right, so this is from
You
San
missed the
Diego.
trick there, Simon. You could have said hello there. You know.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yeah, San Diego Comic Con reveals these were. This is from the Ahsoka series. So this is the Black series. So first you've got Ahsoka Tano, then you've got Hera Sandula. You've also got Sabine Wren, and you've also got the lightsaber from Ahsoka Tano released. So
That's
that
pretty
looks
cool,
quite
I
cool.
like
Force
that.
effects
Yeah.
one, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, Force Effects one. Then there's the Pre-Vizsla from the Clone Wars and a R2D2, which I've already pre-ordered. So,
What's that branded under? Do you know?
These are the Black Series.
No,
So-
but like the art, they're all specific to a thing. What's
So
the
that
art
R2D2, as you can see, it says the Mandalorian series. So
from? Okay, I can't because I'd have to squint. But
okay.
thank you. Oh, he is in the Mandalorian, isn't he? For like a minute.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
When's he in the Mandalorian?
There, there's a scene like him and Art. Do they have a little cameo? Don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Where is it
Luke.
again? I can picture the scene. Yeah, sorry, but Luke. Yeah,
When
that's it,
Luke's
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, that's C-3PO.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
got you.
Yeah, and Grogu's playing with him, isn't he? Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I don't necessarily collect those particular figures, but the lightsaber looks cool.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
You would have to buy two though, wouldn't you? Because
Yeah.
Yes.
And one would be longer than the other, would it not? Because they're not the same
it's supposed
size.
the
those
handles are
sabers.
they're supposed to be smaller,
Yeah.
but I think in the new show they're the same length. So maybe
Oh,
that's-
right, okay.
Yeah, to make
well,
a
looking
marketing.
at the toy, they're not, but we'll see. So
Yeah. Interesting. So, Simon, you've pre-ordered the R2, did you say? Are you getting any of the others?
I'm not. I will be getting the others yet, but I've. The trouble is these Hasbro's that they're like Luke was saying earlier, like they're all or nothing. So like suddenly there'll be nothing out, and then suddenly they release loads all at once. What you'll see in one of the slides upcoming, I feel like Hasbro are really going to town in some of these series where they haven't filled gaps in others. So Ahsoka Tano, yes, I can understand, but the Mandalorian and the Clone Wars, they're just like creating figures and figures and figures of these at the moment for these series.
Yeah.
So there'll be one in a slide coming up for the Obi-Wan series. Well, that series was done ages ago, and yet I don't need any more figures. So, but
Yeah.
they're still making them. So
Yeah, very cool. Luke, you don't collect these, do you? These on your
No,
radar?
so when it comes to Star Wars, it's always been a sore subject for me. Those were the toys that my parents threw out. You know, it was kind of the definitive moment. It was the definitive moment of my life where my parents threw out my Star Wars figures, and I decided I was never getting rid of anything ever again.
Just out of spite.
yeah.
I
Just
bet
out
that
of
stuck it
spite.
to them, didn't it?
So
Yeah.
it's taken me many years, but I have delved slightly back into Star Wars, but primarily just bounty hunters. So I've got one diorama with all the bounty hunters, and that's it. Like I'm not going any deeper than that.
Yeah, I'm just clocking Andy's comment here. We've talked about this before, Andy, that some of them are just literally repaints, aren't they? So yeah, it's a
lazy as
it's a
anything.
never-ending line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Simon. I just want
Mhm.
to take my hat off to you. You did that very well. Very good. A promising start to the episode, Simon. Well done.
It was all right.
what?
Luke, this is now, Luke. This is sexy. This I
Mhm.
think I might have to get this, and I don't necessarily get this scale.
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? This is an all-in-one package, right? This is you
Yeah.
buy this and this is your display. Whether you're an
Yeah.
in-box collector or out-of-box collector, you keep all of this together on a shelf. I think Todd McFarlane has absolutely knocked it out of the park with this. This is absolutely superb. The fact that they've been able to get this put together and released for this show, I think is phenomenal. You know, there's so many here that I would have bought as individual figures, but buying them as a set just it makes it makes such an easy sale.
So for people who haven't seen this, this is from McFarlane Toys, and this is a box set, isn't it, of all the main movie Batman.
Yeah, and you know, like I say, if you can get hold of some of the vehicles as well to go along with these guys, this is literally your shelf. Like you don't need anything else. You know, talk about Spider-Verse, you can have the Batman verse.
See, I'm kind of doing that with Hot Toys, but
I was just about to say, aren't you? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it'll be including next. Yeah,
and a fraction of the cost when you're buying Hot Toys.
yeah. But I mean, I think you're right, Luke. I think in terms of a marketing, kind of all your Batman figures in one bulk lot, this is quite appealing for a lot of people, I would have thought. And he's just saying that it's tempting, and Fuzzy's saying it's 120, which I don't think is bad, Fuzzy.
absolutely,
Absolute
that's
bargain.
Great
Absolute
deal.
bargain price.
Yeah.
I think McFarlane really articulate their figures a lot better as well than Hasbro, so it's well worth the price. So
Yeah, I could see myself picking this up, I have to say. What about you, James? Because you're a Batman fan. Is this a set you would pick up?
No, like I said, I'm moving away from this kind of scale of figure. Like I have one right in front of me, actually. McFarlane, the Arkham Batman. I think honestly, the best quality figures for the it's insane, like that they don't charge like 40 quid for them because they're NECA quality. But yeah, no, it's really cool to see. Just not, you know, maybe a year ago I would have been like, "Ooh, yeah," but like at the moment I'm clearing space. You know.
Yeah, and McFarlane Toys, I've got a lot of time for them. They're very, very cool. Fuzzy's just saying the articulation isn't as good in these ones. But I mean, it's Batman. I don't want Batman kind of posed in any fancy ways, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to stand him. Yeah, nice figures, them. Nice figures. Good set to have. Simon, we're back to you, mate.
Yeah, back to me. So also was announced was this abomination of the Christmas series, which I was like,
so stupid. I hate it. Like, so why is this a thing? Like,
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why Hasbro sort of carry on with these lines. We didn't ask for them. It's just like, yeah, holiday.
Do you know what though? People must be buying them because they keep making them. You know, so like,
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you know, like. Sorry, James, carry on.
I can imagine people like putting these up at Christmas or hanging them off your tree or something, but it's just, I think it's.
But, so do you know what? Yeah. You know what? And I'm going to come to Luke because I think he will support me on this. You guys are moaning on about these. There's no denying that Father Christmas Joe there looks awesome in his little red Santa costume. That at Christmas time stood next to you, stood next to your biscuits and your milk for Rudolph and your little drink for Santa. That for me is Christmas in a box. No,
I think like if you like had a big pack of like 10 of these figures, like one, then like you're fine. But like I haven't bought any of these, so if like in 2 Christmases I'm like, oh, I want to get some of these things, they're gonna be impossible to get half of them.
I collect the Black Series, but I won't touch this line because it's like, yeah, not for me.
So I'll go one further than you, Peter. I would buy the little Jawa as Santa Claus, and I'd put him in a sled, but then I'd have the sled pulled by a whole army of those Ewoks.
And on one Ewok, Luke, would you just paint its little nose red?
I would get a little tiny bobble felt, and I'd stick it on his nose so it was nice and 3D. I'd even get little anklers for them.
So on the right-hand side, guys, is the Obi-Wan series, as I was trying to say. So this was announced before San Diego Comic-Con, the Obi-Wan series of new announcements. But this is where I'm on about Hasbro milking it. Now, I do like the Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn, and I have pre-ordered that. The Darth Vader with the broken mask, that's really cool. That's already sold out in the UK. You can't get it for pre-order. It's sold really, really fast. Now the Obi-Wan, I already have. There's already 3 versions of Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan series. So a 4th version did really ask for this. It was another.
This is
add-on.
the look, though. This is like his comic book look. This is the kind of wanderer Obi-Wan.
We already have a look for that. There's already one for literally there's too many Obi-Wans in the Obi-Wan series set. So,
but though, somebody that's their favorite look. So I think that's fair enough.
I just think they keep adding to the series set, which is making my set too big now.
That sounds like your problem.
I know it's my problem. I had like
somebody collects all of them, you know.
Set of 10 figures, and then they keep adding it on. I'm like, oh, for God's sake, not another one.
That's exactly right. What James is saying, it's because you're going as the completionist mindset, whereas really, like, people want to buy the main character. You know, you can go into a store if you're new to collecting and you can't get the main character. That stops you from collecting all the others. So by re-releasing them, even with different paint jobs, different styles, they're giving you the option to start from where you are now. If you don't have that option, the line's dead.
Yeah.
Peter, you're muted.
I'm muted. I'm talking away to myself. I was going to say, Simon, I think you should probably take what James and Luke are saying, and now also Fuzzy, as something of an intervention. All right, you don't have to buy everything, mate.
I do.
Right? Just
they're numbered. I have to.
Peter, that's pretty rich coming from you now, Mister. Like glass shelves.
How dare you? How dare you? I'm very restrictive in what I purchase.
Of course you are. Just on the topic of Darth Vader, the sculpt is really impressive.
Yeah,
like I was really stunned how I saw a picture of it. I thought it was the hot toy for a second. Like the detail on the face is so accurate.
It looks amazing, and it's sold out straight away.
I imagine so. Yeah.
So I need to get it. So.
Very cool. Anything else on this slide, Simon?
No, that's it. Just the monstrosity of the Christmas, and then the Obi-Wan, really, with that. So
I'm going to say something here that's going to probably upset James, but we're looking at a 1/6 scale toy the other day, and one of the images on the slides just reminded us of how much I hate all of these kind of weird multicolored Mandalorian type figures with the different blues and the oranges and the greens, and I don't know why it just winds us up.
I don't buy just like nameless characters, like figure heads. Do you know what I mean? Like this is a Death Watch Mando. It's like, no, I want a character. I don't want, just an extra.
Yeah.
Simon, I think you're getting a lot of praise here, Simon. Good stuff. Let's move on.
Tinge of sarcasm, I feel.
Yeah. How
it might go downhill.
How dare you, Andy?
I'm gonna flub my section now. I can feel it.
Yeah. Listen, we've got 18 people watching, ladies and gents. Thank you very much. Please do hit the like and subscribe button, and please do check out all of my colleagues' channels: Hydra Collectibles, James T. Keegan, and Comic Lad Simon. Please do like and subscribe to their channels as well. Okay, James, you're up.
Yes. Yeah. So the Gustavo Santaolalla is the composer of The Last of Us. And he's actually in the second game. You can see him like in a town, like you can walk past him. But he kind of, I think, slipped up the other day and he said, "Oh, in the new version, you can come up and request songs off of me." And people were like, "What new version?" So I think it's they're doing like a PS5 version of Part 2. So we're getting kind of I'd imagine more of a remaster with a couple of extra features. But as someone who's only played the second game once, because it's so harrowing, I'm excited to like get a new version and have like a proper reason to like sit down and play it again.
Okay, good stuff. I've still not got onto the games, and I just don't know if I've got the time to commit to them, but I will at some point. I think try them out. I think.
Yeah.
What's this about the GTE hacker?
Yeah, so some kid hacked into Rockstar Games servers and stole the source code for GTA 6. And apparently he's been accused of blackmailing, like trying to get money off of them to give it back to them. Because if he leaks it, I'd imagine like the amount of new technologies they've developed for the engine for that, like it'd be pretty valuable if that just like went onto the internet. Other companies like shouldn't, but could steal that, and use it in their own games. So he's been arrested anyway. And yeah, it's kind of amazing to me. It's amazing to me what like it's always teenagers that do these things. How do you even?
Is this in America or UK, James?
I don't know. I didn't look that. I just read an article. It didn't specify.
This is the only way kids can get jobs nowadays. They got to prove that they can do the
yeah,
stuff,
and they hire them for security. Then yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that was what he was going for, but he's got a pair of handcuffs now. But yeah, it's just amazing to me. Like you would think how valuable something like that is, that they would have like the top notch, the best. Like these games
Yeah.
be billions, like Grand Theft Auto specifically. Kind of great. Yeah, just absurd to me, I think. But it's a funny
Mental.
story, I think. Yeah.
Mental.
Although it's
yeah.
ironic, someone stealing GTA. You know,
Yeah.
it's got like an irony to it. So yeah, I like
Yeah.
that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very. Yeah. Bless him. I mean, he's done well, but he's ended up in a bit of bother with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Luke. These are nice looking figures.
Yeah, so Mafex is always one that I kind of forget about until I see it. You know, I never think, oh, I'm going to check out the new Mafex releases, but then when they do come up, they are stunning. You know, and obviously here we've got Marvel, we've got DC, and then obviously we've got the boys. Obviously, in regards to the boys, you've got Soldier Boy there that I put in especially for James.
Thank you.
Yeah, the sculpt looks terrific. It's a shame it wasn't painted. I would have liked to have
Yeah,
seen
I
a
want to
finished
see it because
figure.
that would have convinced me to buy it. I
But,
think if it looked like amazing.
Yeah, I mean they're just knocking it out of the park with this stuff, and I love these looks for some of these characters, but specifically the DC characters. I think they look amazing.
Yeah, I think they all look very good. Actually, I'm loving that Daredevil. But I tell you what, the Jean Grey, I don't know that I've seen a figure that's done the kind of the shimmer and gold of our boots quite as well.
That's nice, doesn't it?
It's really quite striking, that I think, compared to the other Jean Greys I've seen.
I think if you have that with some really nice like effects, you know, like the flame fire effects that a lot of the anime style figures come with, if you can get all of that stuff together, maybe even get in a Phoenix fire like background or something, that could look superb.
Yeah, I really like them. Andy's asking about the stands there. No, Andy, I absolutely wouldn't.
The flight pole for Jean Grey I would. So yeah, the others seem a bit pointless to me.
Yeah,
I assume they don't want to put pegs in the feet. I assume so. That's why.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. So you've got more of the boys' characters there. That the NECA didn't make more. So, and Mafex are getting into them.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've got Homelander as NECA. So, but you could only get like 2 or 3, and I would have got the whole set.
Starlight and Black
Yeah,
Noir, I think that's all.
That's all they've made. Yeah.
Yes,
well, Mafex is big price difference, isn't it? Like these are like 90 quid.
Yeah, the pricey figures. Figures. Fuzzy's just asking, is it Mafex? I'm not sure how it's spelled.
No, he is absolutely right. I was just too excited.
Well, we have to scrap the branding now.
Oh no,
that's your one and only chance.
I can always rely on Fuzzy to keep me honest. It was just like a little gut punch right there. I was like,
I'm gonna watch the rewind.
It was probably made worse. It was probably made worse, Luke, by the fact that Simon's done so well in his.
It is, yeah. It's
the star of the show. Like, yeah,
it's really lonely down here.
GP's asking if the deep comes with a little dolphin. No, mate, but I think you get a starfish.
Squid. Is it octopus or a squid or something?
Octopus,
like?
yeah.
He can pull his pants down as well.
Well, I've not seen the bishop.
No.
Not seen the bishop. I don't know if we've got a slide on that one either, Fuzzy.
Spelling errors, missing slides. This is a shambles.
There's only so much that we could
gang on him.
There's only so much that we could fit on here, so I did have to be quite selective.
Okay. I'll take that excuse. So.
Okay, I wanted to just mention this. I'm not going to focus too much on 1/6 scale figures this episode, because we've done a 1/6 scale show just last week which covered a lot of this, but I did want to mention some of the Mondo stuff. I think Mondo is absolutely knocking it out of the park at the moment. They're doing some incredible figures, particularly from the animated lines. So this is the Comic Con mail order version of Wolverine. You can take the jacket off, as you can see. You got the separate arms there. I just think that looks very cool. I have to say, if I was spending the kind of money for a Mondo figure for a Wolverine, that's not the outfit I would go for personally.
Yeah.
But I do like the look, and I do think it looks very cool. And I like the fact that the claws are kind of pushing. I've not seen that before. I don't think it normally comes kind of as part of the hand. So yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right, Simon. It might, and you know, it's a little bit of a. How many do you get there? At least you maybe get a couple of spares, so in case you lose them or whatnot. But But yeah, I think it's very, very smart. I do like that figure. It's quite nice. Luke, back to you. Redeem yourself.
So yeah, Mezco 112. In my opinion, these are the best of both worlds when it comes to action figures. If you're into your 1/6 scale or your 6-inch scale, you know, this is the nice in between, because they tend to come with fabricated clothing, loads of accessories, different head sculpts, etc. I actually purchased a Popeye figure from this line, and it's without doubt the best action figure I've ever purchased. So
Yeah.
the moment I saw these turtles coming out, I just thought, yeah, I'm all in. I'm gonna have to invest in this. And unfortunately, they are on the expensive side. You're looking at, I think I paid like £120 for my Popeye figure. So obviously so I imagine these are going to be around the same. But it does all determine what they come with. You know, obviously these are just the standard models at the moment. Not too sure what accessories they come with. But it's one to watch. It's one to look out for.
Oh, I don't know, Luke, because I was literally just going to say to you, I've got turtles represented in my collection in the NECA figures. You know, I've got the same ones as I've got the smaller scale of you've got the larger ones, haven't you?
I've got both sets. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was quite happy with having turtles represented in that level. But then I've seen these, and I think these look absolutely phenomenal. I'm not sure I'd pay 120 each for them. Like,
well, I don't know. I can't say that that's going to be the price. That's how much I
Yeah.
paid for the Popeye figure. And like I said, he came with a lot of accessories. He came with all sorts. I don't know what these will come with or how they'll be packaged and sold. So it's one.
but
it's
the
just one to
sculpt
keep
on
an
these
eye
is
on.
superb. I mean,
They
They look
look
like
amazing.
statues. Like, that's how good the detail is on them. It's really incredible. And that might be the best like motion effect I've ever seen on a, like, you always see Chaos Hammer, it never looks good, whereas that looks phenomenal. I think.
Yeah.
Andy, so I've got Luke will have to remind us what version of the NECA Splinter I've got, and it's horrendous. I wouldn't.
You've got the movie. You got the 1990s movie version. Then obviously they've done the animated version, and then in top place, as far as I'm concerned, which I made a video about this week, was the Mirage version. I think it's the best Splinter we've ever had.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of the images of that one. The one I got, the NECA one, it's very wiry and it just, I don't know, it doesn't fit well.
I think the beauty of the Mirage line, at least from what I can tell, is that the way they've painted it, they fit equally as well in both sides, whether you're going to display them with movie accurate or animation accurate. These ones do tend to fit in both categories. They seem to work.
James, I'm just looking at that more. You're absolutely right. The motion on the nunchucks, but even the pizza. I'm thinking of the NECA pizza slice that you get with the turtles that I've got. It's very much a triangle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that looks great.
It looks like a sloppy, greasy slice of
honestly,
slice
Peter.
of pie, you know.
Honestly, like Mezco 112 could become your definitive collection. I know you like your 1/6 scale, but these really do tick that box in a smaller form, because you get all the like the clothing, the articulation, everything else. But also then you can put more on a shelf, or you can put them in a diorama. And I think if you can afford to spend that much, this is the way to go. Because if not, you're spending like £300-400 on a 12-inch scale figure.
Is there like a 1/6 turtles you can get?
Not 1/6. It's the version Luke's got.
There is no 1/6 at all. Like
there is, but it's for the Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
What scale are the ones that you and Ben had then, Luke?
They're 1/4 scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. More on that coming soon.
I like them as well.
Get the 10.99 ones I've got.
Honestly,
the
those
new animated ones.
Those 1/4 scales of the Jim Henson turtle suits, they are phenomenal, without a doubt. If you're happy with the smaller 7-inch figures, these ones are going to blow your mind. They are absolutely amazing. But I would recommend that you get stands for them, because all 4 of mine have fallen off the shelf at one point, and I've had to re-stick their legs back on.
All individually, all 4 of them have
all individually, all at different times. Fortunately, though, I found a nice, helpful guide for how to do it properly, so I've still got full movement and articulation with them.
Andy likes to just jump into my chat and try and cause chaos. Do you know that?
Drop a grenade.
He does, and we know he's lying. We know he's winding us up.
Yeah. 3-0 does the turtle ones. The Rocksteady is very good, though. Yeah, the Rocksteady and the Bebop are very expensive, hard to get a hold of, Fuzzy, in 1/6 scale. But yeah, they're very cool. And Fuzzy's just putting Andy in his place. I think we all echo that, Fuzzy. So thank you for voicing.
To be fair, if he doesn't like turtles, he's not going to like the rest of these slides.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
Simon, you're up.
This is where I fall apart. Right, so
just preemptive, guys.
I'm
Yeah.
ready to
Please be
climb.
honest.
I'm ready to climb back up that ladder.
Yeah.
this is San Diego Comic Con announcements. So this
That's
was
what the
a
show's
picture
about, yeah.
from a panel for DC McFarlane of what they've announced. So I think you might have to help me out. Is that Nova the first guy?
Absolutely
not
not.
Nova.
No, absolutely
Not-
not. That's the wrong.
Spoilers.
Not only is that the wrong.
Firestorm.
Not
It's
only is
Firestorm.
that the wrong character, Simon.
Okay,
it's the
okay.
wrong company that you.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's Firestorm. Then you've got Hawkman.
Firestorm.
Then Sinestro, which I've been wanting
Yeah.
a Sinestro figure because I already collect the Green Lanterns, and there actually hasn't been a Sinestro figure yet. So at that size, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Then you've got the whole set of Batman. Is it
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin film with Mr.
Nice to
Freeze?
see you.
Yeah, which is it looks spectacular. And then you've got some extra figures at the bottom. So we've got a zombie.
No. I'm not accepting extra figures. Names,
Well,
Simon.
Names. Okay.
Start from the left.
Black Lightning.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes. A zombie Green Lantern. Probably
That's a
Hal
weird
Jordan.
one. Is it a zombie or is it
It
is
looks
it the
a zombie
Joker?
to me.
I can't make out.
That's not.
I would have thought zombie.
It's
But then
a
aren't
zombie.
they like a whole nother? Is this like preemptive to the Black Lanterns or something? Is that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Could be.
Strange.
So obviously Supergirl, and I don't know what type
Catman.
of Batman that is.
Catman.
It's Catman.
Oh, it's Catman, is it? Okay.
It is Catman.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's those.
Relatively painless. Simon.
To be fair, Simon, I think they look pretty cool. I quite like the
Yeah.
Supergirl. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. So,
Yeah.
and then Peter,
Andy
your
disagrees.
surprise. These look great.
Sorry, Simon, carry on, Simon.
Okay, and one for you, Peter. Super 7, it's called.
Yeah.
They've done a crowdfunding for this, which is the Thundercats cat layer.
Yeah,
So-
Cat's Lair.
Cat's layer.
Is this what you've been banging on about the last week, Peter? Is it?
This
looks
is my
amazing.
current. This is my current kind of drama. So this is as Simon's beautifully put. This is from Super 7. It's the Cat's Lair. It's absolutely huge. Crowdfunding thing. It's a bit like the HasLab stuff where if they reach certain tiers, they give you more bits to it.
Have you heard how much they're asking
$699.
for it?
$6.99, but that's only available in America. If you go through a UK retailer, which is Comics and Cocktails, it's $7.50. It's a lot of money.
So
You get
guys,
some extras, don't you, if it hits the goals? So
Yeah, if it hits certain
Free Hot
levels,
Toys, Peter, isn't it? Oh,
So-
there you go.
this was going to be one of my slides, and I had it ripped from my hands, so I'm very bitter and upset.
I mean, when you hit
That
15
means you
slides,
don't
I
get to
had to
talk
put
about
something.
it. Then.
But one thing that I wanted to highlight was what do you guys think? I mean, we are collectors and we're all like man children. We love our toys. Don't you think it's a shame that for example, no one is buying this for their kid to play with? This is very much selling into the collector's market. Don't you think it's a shame that not more of this stuff is available in a lower form? I know we can't have the best of the best, but isn't it a shame that we don't see this stuff in shops anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you're right in terms of the
Sets and stuff.
the
like-
play sets and things like that. I think me and certainly my age bracket had the golden age where you got the Cat's Lair, you got Boulder Hill from Mask, you got Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, all those kind of big play sets. You don't see a lot of them anymore now. And the price point on this is absolutely for middle-aged old farts like me. This isn't for kids. No one's buying this for a kid.
Tell me as well, like if you did have this, if you did fork up the money and spend the money, which is anyone's business if that's what they choose to do, but how would you display this? Would you want it forward facing like this, or would you have it rear facing so you can see inside?
So yeah, this is the actual point, Luke, that I've hummed and hawed. it comes down to how I would display it, because I've got nowhere to display it. And then, I mean, Andy's saying here, not really because it's shite. It did get to the point where I had to have a real good look at it and say, do you know what? This is just a big, big chunk of plastic. If you look at Castle
Is the
Grayskull and
rocks
stuff like
included
that,
with it, or is it just
that's
the
the
building?
back panel. It folds into it, so that's
Right,
you kind of
okay.
fold it open. Yeah. If I love my Thundercats, I really do love my Thundercats. And I haven't got Thundercats representing my collection. Would Cat's Lair be the first thing I went to try and represent Thundercats? Probably not. It would probably be an original battle. What's the tank called? Thunder Tank. And the original line of figures, I think.
So this
I
is.
think
So
I'm
this is
convincing
just
myself
it.
not to get it.
This is just it, right? So we obviously, you and I love Masters of the Universe, and I've been collecting all the Masterverse figures, which are slightly bigger than what we were used to back in the day. However, I'm still displaying those with a Castle Grayskull. You know, I'm still going to use the old vintage one that me and my wife have repainted and modified and done up. And for me, that's enough. I don't need to invest money into a collector's item anymore when a kid's toy will do.
Yeah. And if I bought this, I would have to buy all the Super 7 Thundercats to go with it. And they're quite pricey as well. They're 60, 70 quid a shot.
Another issue I'd bring up, I don't know if this is an everyone thing, but it's become an issue for me. Like, I'm selling a lot of stuff because of this. The box, like, this is the type of thing you don't throw the box away for. So it's taking up double the room because you have to put that thing somewhere.
Yeah.
Hold on. You lose half the value of it. Like, yeah. So
Your attic's just full of boxes.
yeah,
Mine is.
I'm telling you, there.
Yeah, mine and my garage and my son's room.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah. Andy, Luke, you're talking absolute sense tonight. Stop it, I don't like it. Haven't bought some Super 7 figures. I'd rather spend the money on 10 Super 7 figures. Yeah, I've heard they're very good, Fuzzy. And I think you're right, mate. I think I do love the look of it, and it's got a lot of nostalgia, but I'd rather buy the figures, I think, than the big Cat's Lair.
I think
because, again,
as well, like,
nowhere to put it.
So there's a lot of people who make custom dioramas, and you can have your own pieces there, or even just a nice picture backdrop. You get a high quality image, and you have that in the background of like your glass cabinet or something else with your figures standing in front of it. You're going to get the same idea. You're going to be able to post the same sort of pictures on Instagram and everything else.
Yeah, you've convinced us I'm not getting it, guys. I'm going to have to stop looking at it now. Luke, back to you.
Yeah, so this particular Sentinel, I think, is really worth noting. So this is the Titan Heroes kids toy. And again, I'm going back to the whole kids thing. This is going to be like dirt cheap. I know it's a bit more expensive for us here in the UK as opposed to America, but these Titan toys are like 10 to 20 pounds each. They're nothing, right? And there's very little articulation. But I mean, that's a 6-inch Wolverine sitting on top of it. So if you can't afford to go out and buy your HasLab special of a giant Sentinel, or if you missed out on the old Toy Biz one, these things are perfect. You know, I've already got 3 of them pre-ordered, and I don't even collect X-Men. I want them for my Spider-Man display, because we all know that Spider-Man gets mistaken as a mutant by the Sentinels in every other issue. So yeah, I think these are ones to look out for, and you're going to find these in places like Smith's Toys and everywhere else here in the UK. I think they're going to be readily available if the scalpers don't get to them first.
Yeah,
like
army building, I think, as well, and like, because it's a very simplistic design, the simplicity of it doesn't really matter.
I mean, it is a shame that there isn't more articulation, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, if it's just going to be one of those background things and you have your other action figures around it, it's going to work. You know, you can put the other figures into poses. And then again, so Mezco 112 yet again with the Ghostbusters. This is what I was saying to you, Peter. This line, this brand really has some great stuff, and like these little proton packs look tremendous.
Yeah, no, they look very cool. Very cool. Yes, nice figures. Simon.
Oh, me again. Okay. Right. So these were the best pictures I could find. So there, you've got the Builderverse of a Hydra Stomper. Now, there's already a Hydra Stomper, but this is the purple version, so which is pretty cool. Then below was a load of other announcements. So we've got 2 Secret Invasion, we've got Nick Fury, and is it Varys? I forget his name.
The villain, is it?
Yeah. And then from Hawkeye, we've got Kingpin and I can't remember. Yelna, is it? I can't pronounce it.
Yelena.
Elena.
Also,
Elena.
is it Talos you mean for Secret Invasion?
Talos, that's it.
Talos.
Yeah,
Talos.
Yeah.
Peter, you just said like
I just wanted to move on, James.
Yeah,
I didn't want. Do you know what, James? You should know by now. I don't like to draw attention to it. Do you know what I mean? If Simon's making a foobar, just move on. Don't point it out.
I wanted to know though. Like it's
Simon, don't worry. I mean that's bullying in action.
Agatha Harkness, I know that one. WandaVision. Then we've got 2 What If characters as well. So I collect What If, so I'll be getting those 2.
What characters
which characters are they?
I can't read that.
It's Gamora.
I can't even make.
I know that's
Gamora.
Gamora. I don't know what the other one is.
Yeah, because that episode was cut, and then she's in the final episode. Yeah, where she's wearing the Thanos armor. And then the last one looks like I don't know, Flash Giant or something, is it?
Fuzzy, they weren't talking in order. These were from the only pictures that they've actually shown. And
when was there a purple Hydra Stomper?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Is that even in the show?
I can't make that out. Is it a Sentinel?
No, it's Hydra Stomper. It's definitely 100.
But in Sentinel colours,
it's What If, definitely.
Yeah. Build a figure.
Unless it's from the new series of What If, because they've done some of it. Maybe it's a release from a.
It could be. It
could be from that Gamora episode.
Could be anything, Simon. You don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
Could be out.
then we've got Deadpool and Hydra Bob, which looks really cool.
I like that. That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you might know these a bit more, Peter, because I don't know. The West Coast Avengers.
Yeah.
So...
Hank Pym, Spider-Woman, Iron Man, Mockingbird, Tigra.
Okay, cool.
I really like. I've
never read the West Coast Avengers, but I put them in. So
I've always really liked the version of Spider-Woman. And again, that's where even in Secret Wars, that's where Peter says that he modelled the black suit on with the design and logo because he saw her.
That's the Julia Carpenter version, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, which isn't this one, but I've always liked that look. I've always thought that was a good look.
And I love Hank Pym in that kind of red jumpsuit get-up he had for a while. I quite like that set. That's quite a nice little set. We don't know, Simon, yet you'll not know because they'll not have mentioned it, I don't suppose, what that retails for, I guess. I bet that's over 100.
5 figures, 30 each, probably.
Yeah. It's a nice looking set. And I like the Deadpool set as well. Yeah, very cool. Fuzzy's just saying those West Coast Avengers are all re-releases in a new box. All right, Fuzzy, didn't realise that. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I just wanted to mention
am I ever going to get a slide in here? Like, come on.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Make him suffer.
It's because he's the only one that's stuck to 5 slides.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
2 of them better be together. So
this is the Mondo Magneto. This is a reissue, but with a new head sculpt. So you've got that helmeted version with the kind of the blacked out face there for him in the shadow, which is quite interesting. I love this figure because the hands in those circle bits are all magnetic, so you can pop stuff on them, which I think is a real cool feature. And I just love that design of Magneto.
So Peter, you're one that often says that you don't like the additional light up accessories and stuff like that with your figures. What about these ones? Are you okay with these, or would you not have them?
In terms of the magnetic effects?
Yeah, the kind of,
No, I wouldn't use them. I would just have the magnetic hands and probably have stuff stuck to them. I think maybe. I don't know. I'd have to have a proper look.
I think it works for like the animated style, you know.
Yeah.
Like the Doctor Strange stuff looks a bit iffy because it doesn't look how it does in the movie, whereas this is like a cartoon. So.
I think it looks pretty cool, but it's another.
I'm not too sure about those knee joints.
All of the most of the mecha, not mecha, what you call it? Mondo figures have the kind of the exposed joint kind of things.
Is that what the He-Man ones look like as well?
Yeah, the pretty noticeable.
Yeah,
that's one of the big. That's one of the big criticisms of the Mondo figures is that all the joints are quite exposed. They do look. There's an argument, that Hot Toys don't look like action figures, whereas some of these things just look like big action figures, and that's true in many regards because you can't see all the joint movement and stuff like that. But it's a nice looking figure. I've got a Magneto. I've got a Sideshow Magneto, which I like a lot, but I wish it had magnetic hands because I think that looks a cool effect. There is an effect piece that you can plug into its hand, which makes it look like his helmet's hovering in his hand, which is
that's
pretty
cool.
good.
Just stick magnets on him.
Yeah. A blue tack and magnets on, that'll look nice. We've got 20 people watching. Thank you very much, everybody. As ever, hit that like and all the rest of it. Plastic flames, effects and electricity always look ropey. Absolutely fuzzy, completely agree. Particularly with Hot Toys, when you're paying a lot of money for an accurate looking figure, and then the slap weird looking plastic effects over them. It just looks shite. Still not you, James. Luke?
Yeah, so I think this is absolutely beautiful, but I was really upset that it was up for pre-order immediately. So yeah, I put in all my details, paid for it, and they're telling me it's going to ship in like a week or two's time. So
right.
it's an expensive set, you know. It's I think I paid like £50-something for it. But again, I bought this for the civilian. I bought it for Peter Parker. I would have loved for this to have come with an additional Peter Parker head sculpt so that I could put it on a Spider-Man figure, because I really like this look, but I also want him to have a maskless on a Spider-Man body, which I think we will eventually get. But this is the last one of the Hasbro VHS tape Spider-Man box sets that we're going to be getting for this year. We've had 4 of them in total over the course of this time. I was hoping that it was going to be a civilian Peter Parker with a chameleon figure, but I'm just as happy with this Spencer Smythe. It's a great rendition. And I think a lot of people, comic book fans, are going to like this because we don't have a Smythe in comic book action figure form either. And this one fits perfectly.
So iconic a design. Thinking back to that show, this is one of the first bits of imagery I think of is the weird, Spencer Smythe.
I mean, I think that Peter Parker figure is tremendous. I really, really like that. Andy is asking a question there. If you buy a Hot Toy of any figure, would anything else not feel like a bit of a downgrade? To be honest, Andy, it does, because of the quality of the Hot Toy. If you get a good Hot Toy, because Hot Toys, like any other company, do some duff figures as well. But if you get a good Hot Toy, then yeah, you always kind of, I think, looking down your nose a little at some of the other figures. Never mind the knee joint, what is happening with the groin joint and that. Yeah, great figures, Luke. I like those. And I do like that Peter Parker figure. It's very, very cool. Still not you, James.
God damn it. Fucking, what's going on, man? I cut things from my segment because I was like, I don't want to take the piss now.
Simon.
Right. So, so this is San Diego X-Men animated reveal. So we've got the kids' toys. There's a whole pack there. So for the kids, as Luke said, you've got the Sentinel as well that you can get, which is pretty cool. And then as I was worried, because I was like, oh, I actually want some better looking figures than that. So we've got the adult versions. So I absolutely love and been asking for a better Magneto for ages. And so this Magneto and this Bishop absolutely look amazing for me. And I would be getting this set. So, yeah.
I do like the Bishop set, I have to say. He looks very, very good. And the Magneto figure looks very cool as well.
Oh,
it
looks awesome.
Great time to be an X-Men fan.
I just can't. I can't start another collection. Like, I love these. I think they look amazing. But X-Men is such a big team, let alone the side characters. You could be buying and spending a lot of money on this.
Well, for me, the exciting thing about this is a glimpse at the designs for some of the characters in X-Men 97 as well.
Yeah, and aren't you surprised that we didn't get like a trailer drop or anything? Like,
shocked.
We're seeing all of this merchandise.
It's announced 2 years ago or something. Like,
it's just insane.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, going back to Luke's earlier point, these are aimed at kids. Is that right? The ones on the
ones on the left.
Yeah, which is fantastic. That we've actually got some proper representation. Because you're right, Luke. A lot of the figures these days are priced and designed for adults, not for kids, and that's how we get people into the hobby. So
I feel like I work so hard. So obviously I've got my kids and my sister's got hers. So I've got nieces and nephews, and they're a little bit older, but they've grown up with like the iPads, the games, and everything else. I want my kids to enjoy toys like we did. Daddy's got a lot of toys. They should have some toys too. And I just think it's a shame that you can go into a shop and like they love this. They want the same as what Daddy's got. They love Spider-Man. They love the X-Men. But when you then have to decide, okay, I'm going to buy this for them as opposed to me, or this, that, and the other, and whether or not you trust them with all the accessories and the pieces, like they're just going to lose them. You want something that's a bit more robust that they can play with as an entry level.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that you have to decide whether you're buying this figure for yourself or your kid. like that. That's even a debate. Like
this is Daddy's one. Well, put it this way, right? This is going to upset Simon, right? I've got a Spider-Punk figure, but then so do my children.
He can't even
get one. I can't even get one.
Still not James. Luke.
I'm zoned out at this point.
Yeah, James is off. I feel bad now.
I'm checked out. I'm just gonna take the piss out of everybody until something I can talk about comes.
Oh, don't.
Orko.
So I mentioned Masterverse earlier. These are new Masterverse figures. Now I know a lot of us were wondering whether or not the He-Man and Masters of the Universe line might indeed be dead, because we saw that they were being pulled from retail. And a lot of us were very concerned, but the Kevin Smith show is still going to be made, season 2. And they seem to be selling this stuff online as online exclusives. So I don't think it's going anywhere. But again, it falls down to that wayside of, if it's not in retail, it's not the kids market. It's not going to bring in a new audience. So this is very much now a line for us collectors, us grown-ups. They're just continuing this for us, as opposed to getting in that new audience, which is a real shame. Even that other Netflix show, the CGI one, got cancelled.
Yeah. And the movie, they were supposed to do a movie as well. Right?
The movie, the
live action one. To be fair, right, I'd imagine these will have a significantly smaller production
release
run, because you do see, outside of He-Man and Skeletor and maybe one of the other characters, these are all bargain bin figures now. Like, Peter, we were at Liverpool Comic Con, and then you get them for like £8 or £10 each. Like, that's all you see in the bargain bin is the Revelation figures.
Yeah,
but Kevin Smith was at San Diego, and he did get praised. So,
I'm looking forward to the next season. Luke, remind us what the elephant character's called. Is it something Snout?
Yeah, Snout Spout.
Snout Spout.
He's actually from the She-Ra series as opposed to He-Man. And he's a firefighter. And
I remember having the original, because the
original toy used to soak up water.
Yeah. Neck and neck, obviously.
Yeah.
Trap jaw looks superb.
The Mecha Neck was the one that I'm mostly after. The Triclops, I've already got that figure. I don't need him. But the Mecha Neck is the one that I'm most eager to get hold of.
Yeah, I want an original Mecha Neck as well.
We don't have a trailer for this yet, do we? So this is our first look at
season 2.
They show the clip. They did show a clip at Comic-Con, which is available to see on YouTube. Most importantly as well, this is our first look at the cyborg robotic version of Skeletor, based on what happened at the end of the first series. So that's an interesting look. Right now I'm not sold on it. I like my Skeletor the way that he should be, but I'm very eager to see how this all plays out with Hordak and obviously the Horde army.
Yes, very cool. Looking forward to that. Simon,
I just got home. I damn near sprinted to get here on time, and nothing to do. This is terrible.
So, thank you, Peter. This is SH Fig Arts. On the top left there is Ultraman series. This is on Netflix, the new series Ultraman. So it's really good. It's worth a watch, and anime wise, and that's all the figures for it. So. Obviously, we know SH Fig Arts are very expensive figures. They retail over nearly 100 each, usually
120 to 150.
Yeah, but they are so articulated really well and really good. On the right, you've got Raditz, Gohan, and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. And then you've got bottom left, we've got loads of SH Monster Arts, which is SH Figure Arts section for Godzilla. So,
I like them. They look very cool.
Yeah, they look really cool. I don't know what price ranges those are at, but I just put those in because they're really cool. And then I've been waiting for, because I actually really, really love the anime, is Cyberpunk Edge Runners. So we've got a David and a Lucy, and I love that it's got his jacket and those fabric sort of jeans on him. It actually looks amazing. So I would, I just didn't want to delve into SH Fig Arts just for the price, but I will literally get those two because there's no other figures of those two.
I didn't make a slide for it, but did anyone
Thank
see
God.
the Godzilla and the King Kong Heya figures? Because they look tremendous, and they're not too expensive. They're pretty good, good for the money.
Very cool. Excellent, some good figures there, Simon. I don't recognize the guy in the jacket and the pants, but it looks like a good figure.
Yeah, it's David from Cyberpunk Edriners. It's that anime, so that's why you won't recognize it.
Oh, it's anime. Oh, never mind. Yeah. No, looks interesting. Still not James. I'm loving this. I'm thinking now I might quickly jump onto the presentation. Remove all of your slides. This looks friggin' amazing. This again is from Mondo, Batman the animated series. Sorry, the Man Bat. Look at the size of that thing, man. It looks absolutely incredible. It just looks phenomenal. Again, not a one I'll pick up, to be fair, but I just wanted to put it on display because I think it's a stunning looking piece. So yeah, really, really impressive. Luke.
Yeah, so
went and checked Peter. I looked ahead to see where I was. I don't think that's a fair distribution of the slides, to be honest. I don't think that's very considerate. I don't like this. We should just have our own sections. I'd have been waiting less time if we just had our own section.
No. I agree. James, I do apologize. You see, what happened was I put everybody's slides in by the deadline of last night. When did you send your slides, mate? When?
9 a.m.
This morning. Yeah.
Yes. 9 a.m. again.
Well, I
texted you and said I'll have them over now. Yeah.
Gordon, Fuzzy's just saying Gordon's alive there, and again, not to rub salt into James's wounds here, but we met Flash Gordon on Saturday night, didn't we, Luke?
We did. Absolutely tremendous. Like, I'm so glad to be in the same room as him.
Have you ever physically met him? Because I haven't. I've actually met him at a convention.
We actually met him on Saturday, according to the law of Simon. We met him. Yeah.
Are you sure was Efren even pointing the fucking camera the right way? Like, did he show your face?
Dead man's encouraging you to drink alcohol. Remember when this show was fun and fair, James?
I know, right? It's disgraceful.
Right, how are Luke? Tell me about this one.
So, as you guys know, I love my Universal Monsters, and NECA have been absolutely knocking it out of the park. Now, there were a few different Universal Monsters in the lineup, but this one for me stole the show. This is obviously Nosferatu. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to pre-order this figure. Then moving along, we got the Puppet Master, and this is Six Shooter and Jester, two of my personal favorites from that line, made by Full Moon Toys. Obviously, this is made by NECA. And yeah, I've got the two previous box sets that they released, and I can't wait to add these to my collection. Then, as Fuzzy says, Gordon's alive. You know, this just looks superb. Who doesn't want a Brian Bless action figure? But for me, the favorite of mine, much like with the Turtles that we were discussing earlier, it's the Jim Henson dinosaurs. These look tremendous. We saw these last year at Comic-Con in their prototype form, I guess. You can notice the differences now when you compare them side by side, but these still look absolutely tremendous. It is like the living embodiment of those puppets just shrunken down into action figure form.
Yeah. I love that. And I love that series. One of my favorite series is growing up.
I don't care anymore.
So, yeah, very cool.
I know my
very cool.
Like, James, stop moaning when it's my slides.
Tell them not to conquer.
Jason Parker is getting toys made now. Still not James. I don't care.
I don't care anymore. I know what they are. I can zone out.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Luke,
I don't know why he would zone out and not support us. We're all fans.
I don't like
very selfish. Very selfish. Yeah.
I'll comment on what I see.
So these are the new Biker Mice from Mars figures. We mentioned these a few times. They look tremendous, and I wish that I could actually afford to start a new line with these. I do think that the motorcycles are going to be on the expensive side. I don't, these figures have obviously already gone up for pre-order. People have already ordered them, but that doesn't include the motorcycles. So I'm very
Yeah.
hesitant about how much that's going to cost. I would say this though, if I was to buy these, I'd have to open them up. I want these mice riding those motorcycles in my display. Like that is
Yeah.
how I would choose to display these.
I mean, I don't have any major connection to biker mice, but they are pretty cool figures. I do like the look of them.
What's
But
the
you're
company
right.
again?
I can't pronounce what they were called.
It's
not
not one we
written
know
on
though,
there.
is it?
It's
It
I know
didn't
that,
ring a bell.
No, it's like a, yeah, I think it's like, I don't want to say new company or unheard of company, but it's definitely not one of the big names.
Yeah.
I know that Ben Crampton, our friend, the attention seeking geek, he has pre-ordered these, and I know that he intends to keep them in the box.
Yeah.
So
Are
fingers
they like
crossed.
retro window packaging? Is it?
I hope so. I haven't seen
Yeah,
the packaging, so I hope for his sake that they are, because that's going to be the best way to display them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine Ben will take them out of the box. I would imagine he'll want them on display like that. But we'll see. Nice looking figures. Nice looking figures. James, we haven't got much time, mate, so we're just going to skip through these, okay? We'll
Yeah,
take it away, Mr. Keegan.
There's new PS5.
Sorry, I just got to zone out for a minute now.
That's fine.
Take it away.
So this is actually the first like branded PS5 console that's ever been revealed. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 limited edition PS5. I believe it's just normal gigabytes, so like 7 something is the hard drive on it. You can buy the faceplates and the controller separately as well if you want to. So if you already have a PS5, you can just like swap them out if you want. So I love the design. I think the symbiote coming over
It looks nice.
the red is really striking, you know. So I'd be tempted to swap
I
it
mean,
around the time.
The console looks good, James, but I think the hand controller looks phenomenal. I really like
It's very
that.
cool. Yeah. I think I don't know if it's up for pre-order. Yeah, I'll have a look. I might get one of them. Be cool. And then Venom. I know you talked about this on Saturday a bit, but yeah, Venom's some more kind of images of him have come out over the last few days. Incredible
so
looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
I am so excited about this purely for the toy side. I know you're a big into the game, and I'd love to play him as the game character. But we've waited so long for a proper hot toy of Venom. We've got the version from that. I'm not a fan of the movie, but we've got a version from the movie without the spider emblem.
Yeah.
But we know that Hot Toys have been pushing out a lot of PlayStation related figures. They've got to release this, surely to God.
So they didn't do any villains in the first game. Like all we got was Spider-Man. But I feel like if you're gonna do one, this will be the one. And I think it would be a very easy.
Yeah, but unless they've got some kind of tie-up deal with Sony or whatever, that they can't release another version of Venom. Do you know what I mean? They can only do.
I wouldn't think. Well, Sony make this as well.
Yeah,
there's both Sony properties, so they get cut of it either way. So yeah, like it looks incredible. Like he's huge as well, and yeah, I'm very very excited to see him. But on that topic, if you go to the next slide, so they've kind of been playing coy a bit with who Venom is in the game. Now, they said it's not Eddie Brock. The post-credit scene in the first game kind of hinted it's Harry. Harry's a very big character in this. He's like you hear him in the first game, but you never actually see him physically until like the post-credit scene. So it's kind of been hinted that it's him, like heavily. And a lot of people took this new story trailer we got at Comic-Con and said, "Oh, well, it's obviously him." But I feel like there's a bait and switch here. I think it's going to be Norman, because if you look at him, he's wearing all black, isn't he? In the first game, he wears like a green suit. You know, it's kind of like obviously he's going to become the Goblin down the road. But I think it might be a bait and switch, and Norman Osborn will be Venom in the game. So is that? I mean, just looking at Fuzzy's comment there, is that Norman Osborn and it's Norman Osborn on the left and Harry Osborn on the right? Yeah. Okay. So in the back in the first game, basically Harry's sick, and you find out at the very end of the game, like in the post-credit scene, that he's being held in like a tank, and the symbiote is like Dr. Kirk Connors creates it to like heal him.
All right.
So that's in the background. You can see the tank there and everything. So. Yeah, I feel like maybe he'll be Venom and Harry becomes the Green Goblin when he dies at the end or something like that. I just don't think they'll take the obvious route with it. Like in the first game, they hid the fact that Doc Ock was in it like completely. So I think they'll have a similar... I can't imagine they laid all the cards out on the table already, you know? Because otherwise we know, well, it's Kraven and the Lizard and Venom, you know? I feel like there's another element there that they're not showing us. So just look from this shot. I'm like, oh, maybe it's Norman Osborn.
Do we like when it's very much the same depiction but it's a different character? So like for example, when Matt Gargan wore the Venom symbiote, there was a noticeable difference that it didn't look like Venom that we've known Eddie Brock to look like. The same as with Flash Thompson and Agent Venom doesn't look the same. So do we like that it's going to be a different character underneath, yet it's still going to be painted as the same depiction?
Same design.
Yeah.
I don't mind as long as it's told well in the story. Like this is another universe in recent times. I think with like multiverse stuff, I think it's easier to accept drastically different interpretations of characters because it's just one version of them.
Because it's like when Norman Osborn got a symbiote in the main line, it was the Carnage symbiote, and he became the Red Goblin, but that had a very distinctive look. And so for him to just look like Eddie Brock's Venom, but not be Eddie Brock. Yeah.
Well, somebody does. I mean, this is just my theory. But by all accounts, most people assume it is Harry, and it might very well be. But you're right; like it is the same design, but a different version. But I don't mind. Like I would have liked to have seen Eddie, but where do you squeeze him in at this point?
I personally, going back to comic book related stuff, think there are just far too many symbiotes now because it's literally everybody's got one. You know, in the Marvel universe at the moment, they've diluted it to the point where it's almost not a thing. So, but I think this is different, James, because this is its own universe. Like you said, this is more kind of into the Spider-Verse. I guess you would argue this is a different reality, isn't it? I'm excited to see who it's going to be, and I'm excited to see what figures get made of it. And I have to be fair, I think we talked about it last week or last month or whatever. The gameplay trailer they showed of you in the black costume looked absolutely amazing. It looked superb. So if
there was ever a game that would get me to buy a console, I think it's this one.
They are phenomenal. The very first video I ever did, why I started my channel, was to do a review of the first game because it's super.
James, if you're upgrading, I'll have your old console.
I have very good of you, Simon. So Simon, if you're a bit nicer to me, maybe.
That'd be nice.
Have we talked about games? Have we talked about games to appease you for the time being, James? Are you calm? Is your blood pressure dropped a little? Are you?
I'm cool as a cucumber as always, man. I don't know
good. We can move on. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Star Wars.
What's this then?
Hey, so this is HasLab's new announcement, as we haven't had a HasLab. Now, I don't collect the vintage collection from the Black Series. Oh, Luke's gone. But I thought this is the ghost ship from the Rebels. So you will see it, hopefully. I don't know if we're going to see it in the Ahsoka series, but it absolutely looks amazing.
I'd imagine we do, because you see Hera piloting in it,
yeah, true. As you can see on the right, Peter, I think it's nearly hitting its backing stage.
So what's the price there? $499.
Yeah, £499, £500 for it.
That's not bad, man, because it's a big meaty beast, isn't it? It's
yeah. So I'm looking forward.
From what I've seen on Instagram, our friend, the attention-seeking geek, seems to be all on this. I think he said he was considering backing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely amazing ship. It looks,
but I think as Six Scale Padawan says there again, it's the size thing, isn't it? It's how do you display it? Would you have that hanging from the ceiling or something?
Not for that much money, I wouldn't.
Yeah. If this was a Black Series, I would have been. I'd be tempted, but it's that slightly smaller scale. I'm a bit like, I don't know. Like, it's a cool piece set on its own, but it wouldn't fit in a collection. Like, it would have been cool to see this, like, similar to how they did the TIE fighters and stuff. Like,
good stuff. It's an interesting one.
Bottom right on there, Peter, is James's favorite. So, Star Wars Force Unleashed, Garen Malik, which is Starkiller. And I think James has already pre-ordered. Have you that?
No, so I hummed and hummed, and I just said I am clearing out my 6-inch figure, so I'll hold off on this one. I was really tempted. Like, I love that character. The way that the package is, it's like you recreate the cover of the first game, which I thought was quite cool as well.
Okay.
I think maybe if it was in a shop and there was just him on his own for 25 quid or something, I probably We'll just
Would you
unlock
want
them.
him with the
Impulse buy.
sort of end game? You can change him with the mask and things. Would you want that?
Oh,
version?
the Sith Lord version would have been
Yeah,
cool. But
yeah.
I'm just happy with this with the regular
I mean,
one.
this is
any
the first version
really.
we've got, isn't it? Really, so it's
Yeah, they did
I
them
think,
back in the day, but I don't think it was Black Series. I think it was like the retro line or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm looking for this. I think I'll be picking this one up. So
yeah, I'll see if I come across one with a good price. I might just throw them in. With my Cal Kestis and my little gaming Star Wars thing.
yeah.
Very cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Ooh, I like this now. Now this did we not see this last year as well?
So this is a different version of this figure. This is now
It's got a hood on.
This is the third version that we've had, with a whole new array of accessories. I'm so glad that I held off, because when this first got announced, the first figure, I was all in. I was like, I'm buying every single one of these.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I held back, and I'm glad that I have done, because now I can pick and choose. I only need one in my collection.
Yeah.
I don't need to buy all three. So I'm going to wait and see what other monsters we get, like the actual thing. And then I'm going to work out which display I want to do. Because again, there's no point in having them all. Pick which one you want, you set up a diorama, you set up your figures, you create your scene, that's your display. But it looks tremendous. Like there is no doubt that NECA absolutely nailed this year's show. They dominated. Their display and their figures was absolutely superb.
Yeah, I'll be tempted by this as well. I do like the look of these. I love the with NECA, they seem to get that kind of shiny gloss on the blood and the gore just perfectly right. Do you know what I mean? It looks great. But you're right, Luke.
You are going to be tempted back into this line, aren't you? This scale, like.
Yeah. I mean, I've never said I won't get more. I've just not got the space for them, really. But yeah. Andy, love how Luke even brands the slides. Yep. More Luke.
Yeah, so NECA revealed that they were going to do a new Turtles 4-pack, but it was all kept very hush-hush, and nobody knew quite exactly what it was. Now, obviously, we knew that the Comic-Con exclusive was going to be the Samurai Turtles from the third live-action movie, but we didn't know what else they were going to release, what else they were going to give us. They decided to go for this, which is a rather deep cut from the animated series. They look fun, but it's not for me. This is not what I would choose to go for. And equally, none of that stuff is removable. So you wouldn't even buy this just to get the 4 turtles, beneath the clothing. This is very much if you like this look, this style, or if you're a completionist, then this is something that you would go for.
So I think they look shite. Just gonna say it. I don't like the look of them at all. The smile
absolutely
freaks us out.
I 100% agree. The Turtles in Disguise pack that they gave us a few years ago, I think, is by far the superior box set. And that was the one that I kind of coveted for a really long time. I missed the window on it. I didn't buy them, thinking foolishly that we were going to get them here in the UK, and they never got released. Now, you can go on eBay and pick them up for about £300, but I don't want to pay that much, not when you know what they were worth or what they were still selling for over in Target in the US. But those were by far the superior set if you were going to buy the 4 turtles in one box. This, for me, is an easy pass.
What about you guys, James? Do these do it for you, Simon?
Absolutely not. No, I like, even as someone who's not like a fan of turtles, I look at them like, oh, well, that's a terrible.
I'm just happy
one
with
to
these
have,
turtles. These ones are my fave.
Good stuff. And I think you're right, Luke. I'm looking at the jackets and stuff. They're like sculpted on jackets. Just look weird.
It's very much for those completionists. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got a lot of the NECA cartoon turtles, but I know where I want to stop. I know what I want in my collection, what I don't, and I know what I'm still holding out for to call it a complete set. These just don't, like I say, do it for me. But I still felt it was important to discuss and talk about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
After all, it's a big part of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy's asking, do they come in that pizza box packaging?
They do, yes. Yeah.
Oh, wicked. Luke, have you got the Ronin one figure?
Oh, yeah.
I've got that one.
You have to wait, Simon.
You mean on the slides?
you mean on the slides, or do you mean?
On the slide?
There's already a figure out, isn't there, Ronin?
Yeah, so I've got both versions of the Ronin figure. I've actually got a video coming up soon where I compare the two to decide which is the better option for purchasing. But yeah, I do have both copies.
And they actually scale. They look really good next to the NECA Turtles, don't they? The kind of the original line stuff. They look very.
They
cool.
do, and again, going back to what I said before, it works as part of the animated line or as the movie line. It's that perfect medium.
Yeah, Simon, you're upsetting the chat. By the way, get those out of the plastic prisons. Let them breathe. You know what I mean? It's not good.
I can't help it. I'm a box collector.
James, this you?
Yeah, so this is like a mock-up that an EA like art designer did of like what he would do with a Mandalorian game. I just thought it looked incredible. I wanted to show you guys just like the idea of like selecting your own helmet and like,
I love that.
Like it looks real, doesn't it? Like it looks like it's really impressive.
I thought this when you sent us this slide, I thought this was a proper game.
Yeah, no, it's just a mock-up. But like it's a guy from EA, and EA does have a license to do Star Wars games, so maybe down the road. But like, yeah, I really want like a Mando bounty hunter, even if you're not like Din Djarin, just like a bounty hunter game where you pick your armor and stuff. I think it would be incredible.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I like the idea of being able to design your own armor and all the rest of it. I'm surprised that's not already kind of out there, to be honest.
Shocking, isn't it? Really? Yeah.
Very cool. I like the look of that a lot. What's this?
So yeah, Star Wars Outlaws had a panel, so we got a few more bits of information on the game. The open world is. Have any of you played Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Yeah.
So it's one planet is going to be like 2/3 of that map.
Okay.
So that's the rough size, and they have and there's about 7 or 8 planets that have been revealed so far. And it's all handcrafted. There's no like procedural generation. Like it's all the designers actually made, like, which is kind of insane for like the scale of that. And then the story, Jabba, like this I think was assumed, but Jabba the Hutt is like someone you can work for. You can see that you meet him. And they said like Mos Eisley and the Jabba's Palace will be locations you can explore. They called it virtual tourism, which I think is a really cool way of looking at it. You know, that like, you go in and you can sit in the cantina and listen to the music. I just think that sounds incredible.
Sounds very cool. I like the sound of that. And again, you know, this is a game that might tempt me into getting an updated console, because I'm always a big fan of those kind of Roman ones where you can kind of go off, and I used to play Elder Scroll and things like that. That's the kind of game I tend to lean towards, you know. Good stuff. And Simon, are all your Black Series in the boxes still?
Yes, they are.
Disgusting.
All
disgraceful.
on the shelf.
How dare you? You should hang your head in shame.
Two and open one.
They are displayed just in the box.
They need to be displayed. He's got a prison diorama. Oh, it's turning, Simon. It's turning. You had
one
the
way out.
Your hand.
One way out.
Honestly, you had the chat eating out your hand at the start of the show, but now it's turning, mate.
It's like not sleeping with your wife, so she's fresh for the next person, isn't it? When you keep your figures in the box.
That was fighting words, Luke. That was.
It's all. Hang on, I can't keep
it off here.
I thought I was going to say it's facing sideways. They are as well, aren't they? You've got them facing sideways. I remember you telling us.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Just print that like design and stick it there. And
the game might convince me to get a console at least twice a show.
And then he realizes which Hot Toys he can buy for the same money.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Simon, I forgot I had this one. So this is build a figure. So it's Marvel Knights. I think I'm missing. There's 2 figures that aren't on there. You've got the Iron Man Gamerverse, I think, James.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
So is that an Avengers one? Is it then?
Where's Iron Man? What are you talking about?
Marvel's the Avengers.
I couldn't fit it on here. So there's Iron Man where it's gold and black. Iron Man.
It might be under the Gamerverse banner.
Yeah, Gamerverse Iron Man. With the Marvel Knights, but it's gone out of my head what that thing is now. That Builderverse thing.
The bottom corner.
Yeah, I think it's
the mindless one.
The mindless
one from Doctor Strange.
You know what? Even if you misspell it, labeling your slides lets you help Help you
I know.
remember.
I know.
Not
I
with
used
your
to-
own logo though. It's not going to help them, is it?
Helps
Yeah.
me. Gets people over to my channel.
Take it. So I mean, this looks absolutely amazing. Some of these, you know, I think it's a very good builder figure. You know, everyone likes the Marvel Knights, so you know, I think you've got Blade. That Blade looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the blade looks superb.
You know, the Luke Cage and
Yeah.
you know, even that Daredevil. So
I like the
just
Daredevil.
for those, never mind the builder figure itself. So yeah.
I'm not familiar with the character in the hood, the skeleton-faced hood thing. Don't know who that is.
So it's just a
It's-
fist ninja, isn't it?
Is
yeah,
it?
the fist. It's just
That's
the fist
an
ninja.
army builder.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Fuzzy's very, very pleased with this release. He thinks it looks great. I'm loving the Luke Cage and the tiara and the yellow shirt. That looks very, very cool. Yeah, this is a great release. I like these.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
thought it
convinced
looked
on.
amazing.
I'm not convinced on Daredevil's costume in that run, mind, but that's another
See, so
story.
for me, the Blade figure is the standout. The Luke Cage
Yeah, it looks
figure is
good.
great, but I've still got the old Toy Biz version that looks
Ah.
exactly the same as that. Like
Yeah.
for me, I don't need to upgrade it. I don't need. In fact, I think it might be a downgrade. I think the Toy Biz knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. The clear looks good as well, mind. Lady Bullseye. Yeah, good. A good round of figures there. I like
I
those.
think so.
Luke.
Yeah, so these are some of the other NECA figures that I won't be purchasing, but still felt like it was important to show. So obviously we've got the Archie turtles down at the bottom there. I have no idea where these were from in those Archie comics, but I assume that there's an audience out there that wants these. As for the Secret of the Ooze movie line, I don't really like that movie. I'm not a fan of the second movie or the third movie. For me, it's all about that first 1990s version, and that's where I end it. I'm happy with that. I did buy the Toka and Raza action figures, the mutants that Shredder creates in that movie, because I like the figure design. I think NECA knock it out the park with those, and so I enjoyed having that in my collection. And then we got the Universal Monsters, and I'm really torn with this because I really like them. But again, I couldn't go into the realm of buying another series of action figures, so I kind of held off. But now I'm upset because now they're doing the Turtles in other versions. So this would now be the second Raphael. So not wanting to have too many of the same character, I would rather pick and choose which ones I would want. But now obviously that's going to cause me grief because he's now the Wolfman and Frankenstein. And if you were going to have the Universal Monsters, you kind of want those ticking that box. So I feel as good as it is and as great as they look, that's a deal breaker for me because I'm not going to be a completionist and buy them all.
I don't know. I think these look really cool. I can't remember. Reminders in the chat, Fuzzy. I think Fuzzy had some of these and put some images up, and they looked superb. It was either Fuzzy or one of my mates.
There's no denying how great they look, but again, for me, I would rather they went with more characters. Like there's so many other characters to choose from that they could do as Universal Monsters. We've already had the Turtles.
But I guess the Turtles are the selling point, aren't they, for most collectors? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people like the actual core 4 Turtles. Am I right in thinking, Luke, that the Leonardo there, is that a
that's
creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good, mate.
But then NECA are doing their own Universal Monsters in their normal form. Like the Creature of the Black Lagoon is one of the ones that's coming. I've got that on pre-order.
Yeah, I mean, very, very cool. Fuzzy's a big fan, and I'm sure it was Fuzzy's images I was looking at when he was putting them on a while ago. How many turtle versions does one need? It's like multiple interviews with the creator. Fuzzy still needs a Donatello from the first wave. Which one was the Donatello, Fuzzy?
He was the Invisible Man, right? So he was all wrapped up in
I have one of them here.
Oh, that was a good. Well done, James. Well done. Yeah. Yeah. Quick thing in that, James. Good. Yeah. I do like that. I do like that line, I have to say. But I hear what you're saying, Luke. It wouldn't sit well with me having 3 Raphaels. Do you know what I mean? So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's the only thing that put me off.
Yeah. I wanted to mention this. We touched on this very briefly on another show a while ago. This is the Mondo Prince Adam 1/6 scale figure. As much as I love this, I don't want a Prince Adam in my collection, I guess. But But what I would say is I love that effect. What do I? The sword and the kind of the lightning effect. You're not going to have
I thought
that.
you meant the grid effect.
No, you're not going
No.
to have that lighting behind it, are you? So it's going to end up looking.
Yeah,
pretty
you could
naff
if you
looking.
wanted to, though. Make
Yeah.
it look
But
like
we ain't got a
shot
1/6 scale Castle Grayskull, so he yeah.
Just
I
make
don't know.
one.
Do you think we'll
Yeah.
ever get a 1/6 scale?
Could you imagine a 1/6 scale Castle Grayskull? I'd live in it, honestly.
You'd have to buy you'd have to buy kids like with the slide on it, like a playhouse, and just paint it.
Andy's got a really good point there. He's saying that he hasn't got the dodgy knees. That's because it's got fabric pants, Andy. So it's covering the knees, I think. I'm assuming that's the case. All those knees don't bend. But I'm assuming, unlike the other Masters figures that I've got, where they don't have kind of clothing covering legs and arms, and you can see the joints, this one's got fabric clothing, so it masks it nicer, I guess.
Did you ever,
That
did you ever notice? Did you ever notice in the show that Prince Adam walks around, always has a sword at hand, but never is actually seen carrying it?
Yeah. It's a
When
what you
did
call
he
it?
get
A
a pink
prison
sword?
purse, I think.
Simon, go ahead, say that again, please.
When did he get a pink sword? I can't remember having a pink sword.
I'm very curious to find out.
So that's a callback to the original line of action figures where the Prince Adam toy came with a pink plastic sword.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, the same as He-Man and Skeletor came with two halves of the same sword, because the original idea was it was capture the flag style, whoever had both ends of the sword.
See next to his foot. Yeah. What's that?
That's a chastity belt.
That's not
Is
a
it?
bondage
That's
thing.
what I was
It's not a
thinking. It
bondage
looks
thing.
like a bondage.
Gimp harness. No, it's the you put it on and you can slide his sword into his back, basically. But again, as Luke said, some real deep cuts here. I don't remember these mask things from an episode, and there's some real interesting accessories. It's not one I'll be picking up, to be fair.
For now.
You say that, and then next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 23 people watching. Thank you very much, everybody. Please do hit that like and subscribe and all that jazz. Luke.
Yeah, so this is where NECA are really killing it for me. This is tremendous stuff. Though I love this Turtles van, I won't be purchasing it. This came out for pre-order, I think, about a year ago now, and even at the time, I decided that I wasn't going to purchase this because I like having my action figures on display, and I don't want them all cooped up in the van. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, that's not the best display option. So I've opted against that. Now, up in the background here, you can probably see my old Playmates van right up at the top. I'm not sure if that's visible on camera, but that's enough for me. It's in the same scale. If I wanted to repaint it and do it up in this fashion, I will. Otherwise, I'll keep it as is. This Casey Jones action figure, another real deep cut. He appeared in just one episode of that original animated series, and he went undercover to work in a business, and that's how he went for his job interview. wearing
as you would,
yeah. And they play it completely straight. They literally just play it as it is. And then we've got the real beastie figure. This is the 1/4 scale Krang android action figure form. And the beauty of this is obviously you can display it as a 1/4 scale action figure, or much like in that original series at the end of season 1, Krang does indeed grow to the size of a building. And so you can have your lower, smaller inch scale figures fighting and battling him. For me, this is a must-have. This is one that I'm definitely.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Have I told you my Krang story when I made my own Krang when I was younger? When I moved out, when I moved out of collecting He-Man and started moving to Turtles, do you know the original He-Man figures have got the kind of the band waist, the rubber band holding them together. I cut one of my He-Man. It was actually He-Man. Cut him in half. Bought a load of plasticine and pipe cleaners, and made Krang and stuck him in the middle of He-Man's body. And
so
it was
what you're saying
it was terrible.
What you're saying is that you're
But
Sid
you
from
loved
Toy
it.
Story.
That's all that matters.
And what?
You're Sid
You
from
loved
Toy
it.
Story.
Yeah. Then I strapped a grenade to him and blew him up. No. No. Yeah, good stuff. And I love that Krang look. It is very, very cool. Very cool.
So Andy's mentioning
Andy's
about
got a
the
thing
knees.
about friggin' knees.
Yeah,
What's he got on
but
about
this is what the
for,
knees
all
look
night?
like on that android form. So that is very true to the style. So that
Shut
one
up,
I can't
Andy.
complain about.
Andy's got like some kind of bloody
Noob.
fetish about knee joints. Fuzzy, I need a
Nothing
crown.
wrong with it.
Yeah,
Whatever
mate.
floats your boat.
Very
Like,
cool. Yeah,
yeah.
very
Some people
cool.
like these.
James.
I forgot I had another slide, but yeah, here we go. This is the big one. So Mortal Kombat 1, they always do kind of these crossover characters for like the DLC. So they've shown off the combat pack for the new game. So just some of the Mortal Kombat characters that are returning. There's Quan Chi, I think that's Ermac, and I'm not sure who the guy on the far right is. But yeah, the big kind of surprise is that we get the Homelander from The Boys, Omni-Man from Invincible, and Peacemaker from Suicide Squad. So yeah, I think really cool selection of characters. J.K. Simmons is returning for Omni-Man, I believe. I'd imagine Anthony Starr for Homelander, and we'll see about John Cena. Maybe he'll be doing Peacemaker. But the most exciting thing for me is like at the beginning of rounds in Mortal Kombat, there's like these kind of back and forths between characters, and they're always like specific to who the characters are. So I'd imagine you're going to have like Peacemaker calling Homelander a cheap knockoff of Superman, and he'll be like on the upgrade. You know, it's going to be cool to see these characters interacting.
That's gonna be cool. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've mentioned it before, but this might be a game that got me intrigued in buying a console.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't say that often, no.
Just kidding.
No.
I'm actually in shock right now.
The thought of having Homelander versus Omni-Man, I think, is amazing. Because I love both of those characters. So yeah, I think that's very cool. Very cool. Good stuff. I like that. I like it a lot. More from Luke.
Yeah, so this is my favorite slide of all of them.
More turtles. How
more
much turtle
turtles.
shit did they announce at this bloody convention?
All of it. They announced all of it.
You have more turtle slides than I had actual slides. Like
I know, but you know, my turtle fanboys are here in the chat, and we are in solidarity against you. These Mirage turtles look amazing, and this is all the Last Ronin stuff. Now, call me morbid, because you know I am. I'm holding off on these other turtles because seeing that Raphael in his death pose, you know, they've already released the Raphael this week for pre-order as a normal figure, but then they've shown this one as a secondary option. Depending on where we can buy these and what we can have, I think that might be the better display option of the four brothers falling, and you know, the Last Ronin being the ones left standing. So that might be the option that I go for. So at the moment, I'm going to hold off. I will say though, Splinter being my favorite character, that's a must-have figure for me. I want that Splinter figure, as well as the Rat King and Baxter Stockman. You know, the original Baxter Stockman. I'm very, very eager to get hold of those.
Which one's Baxter Stockman?
He's the gentleman down in the bottom with the blue sweater on.
Right.
Scientist, created the mouses.
Right.
So
very cool.
The Rat King was a nice surprise. Many people didn't see him hidden within the display. He was within one of the tunnels. And then halfway through the event, I think it was on Saturday, they swapped out the Triceraton character for the Leatherhead, which is the crocodile. And that just looks phenomenal as well. He looks huge. Like it's a really nice figure and nice callback to the original Turtles.
Now, Highland G's just joined the chat. Welcome, Highland G. And he's come in fighting. So, hot take, but I thought the Last Ronin was a cheap knockoff of the Dark Knight and not in a good way. You're absolutely right.
But everything is. Like, everything is a cheap knockoff. Turtles itself was a cheap knockoff of the Daredevil story and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. It's all, like, again, I would love a nice little shameless plug. Go and check out my interviews with Kevin Eastman on my channel because we do talk about this.
Sorry, what?
We got 20 people watching, and not all of them would have seen it, right?
But I have to say,
Hydra Collectibles. It's right there in the branding.
I have to say, I agree with Highland G. I think Last Ronin gets a whole lot of praise, but it's not that great. It's a good story, but it's certainly not the be-all and end-all. You know?
I didn't like how it ended. But then equally, we have now since heard in interviews at this very show this year, they've been talking about the spin-off from Last Ronin. So for those of you who don't know, spoilers, I'm going to ruin the ending. There we go. So the baby turtles at the end are now grown up and they will be taking over the helm.
That's a cop-out, mate. That was a cop-out end.
It was a cop out. I don't understand where she got the ooze from.
Yeah.
I can't work out. Like, it's all very well doing it, but I don't know where that came from to do it.
Yeah.
It's all right, James. I'm done.
Cool.
Now-
I actually can't
now-
because I got a new mic. I can't actually control the volume on the computer,
Yeah.
so I couldn't. I physically could
Now-
not mute you.
Just as a link, there is a Last Ronin game coming out, which I am very excited about. I think that'll be good. Looking
Yeah.
forward to that one. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's the end of our slides. I did want to just extremely briefly touch on this. Today, we've had just an obscene amount of Hot Toys news. I'm going to be
Just look
doing a
at
show
Simon's
later in
face.
the week. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a show later in the week to
Yeah.
talk about all of the Hot Toys announcements. So I'm not going to go into these. Simon, Hot Toys have got the League of Legends franchise now, and this is the first one
Right.
they've put out.
That's
They've
sold
got
me
one-
now.
Yeah, they've got One
I'm
Piece.
going into
It's gonna be
1-6.
expensive, man. A lot
Yeah.
of them, like,
I'm
I'm
have
going
a
into
lot of these
1-6.
You've
I
only
don't
just
care.
started your new job. Don't go into
Yeah.
1-6.
Interesting choice though, because I would have thought they would have started with a Jinx because I know that's the only
Yeah.
character in League of
Yeah,
Legends I
yeah.
know.
Mm.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
black
so-
suit Peter Parker, I'm getting that. Yes, please.
Another Iron Man, yay!
Yeah.
I agree, Andy. The black suit Peter Parker Spider-Man is very cool. It's pricey, man, James. The special edition's about $365. From
It's 2 years.
Toys on
It's
Fire.
James in 2 years is problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know how much the League of Legends one is? The Kasai?
I'm not sure. I mean, I can send it to you after the show. I've got a slate. Someone sent us a picture of it.
Oh,
But yeah, some great stuff. So I'm going to do a show later in the week about these Hot Toys and all the rest of it that comes out. And that's that's we're done. Wanted to mention just briefly that next Monday, myself and a few of the guys are going to be doing our top 3 scenes and worst scene each from DC's movies. And there's already some interesting picks in there, so please do check in with one next week. End of this week, I will no doubt be doing my comic show, my toy show, and Saturday Night Live. So watch out for them. But please do come back next Monday for the Monday Night Live show. And that's your whack. So we've covered an awful lot tonight, gentlemen. Have we missed anything? Luke, have you got 6 or 7 more
I was
slides to
expecting
talk
more
about?
slides, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel the show was good. San Diego Comic-Con. I think they did a lot of toys, but there was a definite lack of turtle. I think we're going to all agree we needed more turtle
Yeah.
content.
100% could have
yeah.
done with more.
Yeah.
Can we
Do you know
just
what?
turtle.
Do you know what's
Get-
surprising? We're not that far over our normal time limit,
No,
despite
no.
having so many slides.
Yeah.
Can we just say thank you to Efren, who was at San Diego Comic Con and all got us something. So,
To get me in,
well, you didn't.
I used that token up last year. Last of Us thing.
Yes, thank you,
yeah, no,
Efren.
Thank you, Efren.
absolutely, you're completely right, Simon. Efren was very kind and he picked me up a couple of Transformer comics, and I know he's picked you guys some stuff up. So thank you very much, Efren. Fuzzy ignored my request. Was that a request for Efren? Oh, bless you, Fuzzy. Bless you. Listen, ladies and gents, thank you so much for your interaction tonight in the chat. It's been popping. Let one know in the chat just before we go. Have you preferred it this way, where we kind of jump between sections, or do you prefer it where we do a block of games, a block of 1/6, and a block of smaller scale figures? I'd be interested to know your thoughts. I've personally enjoyed it more this way because it means that we're not just listening to one person talk for 20, 30 minutes.
James is.
Well,
James
yeah.
is
Well,
always-
James is, yeah.
James isn't happy about it.
But when we go back to where when we go back to where 5 slides only, you know, that's the way it should be. It should be easier to split.
4 turtle slides and 1 something else.
More anime.
one turtle slide max, I feel like is
There was so much turtle stuff
nice.
released, like the whole neck of boots.
Yeah, but you could have put it all in one slide.
Yeah, but I
I
tried.
didn't have an
Did you see how much
Omni-Man
was on there?
slide and a Peacemaker slide, you know, like just put it all in one thing and like boom, here it is.
This is my favorite.
He sounds very bitter, doesn't he?
Isn't he? He's an angry
Filter.
Irishman, isn't he? He's an angry Irishman. Yeah.
Just having on my
more
potato
Simon.
chips,
More Simon, less Brandon. Mix it up. Love the chaos. Okay, ladies and gents, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Thank you, as ever, to my panel. I always enjoy doing this show with you guys. And with that, we'll catch you all next time. So, night, everybody. Bye.